Hey everyone, it's Davey from Endlessly He Said. So today is another record collection video. I hope you're excited because I haven't done one of these in ages and I've been just dying to get them out. So we're going to be working through records that start with the letter H through to mostly the letter G. So that sounds backwards for those of you that are new. I've been doing these videos backwards through my record collection because I've got a lot of stuff that starts with the A's. I already went through all my AFI records and then we'll get to the Alkaline Trios and the Against Me's later on. Let's get into it. The first record I have to show you is this. This is Hundredth Revolt. Here's the front cover, here's the back cover. Got a little lyric sheet here. The reverse of that record is on this grey smoky colour vinyl. It is single-sided, so there's this little Hundredth keys etched on there. Hundredth are a fine band. They are a melodic hardcore band, kind of modern. I recall only seeing them once, and that was at Cornerstone Festival. I've talked about Cornerstone quite a lot in these videos recently, and it's probably quite abundantly clear by my shirt and by my videos that I love Christian hardcore. Now, I don't think Hundredth are exclusively a Christian band, and they certainly fitted in really well at that festival, and they've got some good jams. I really like this EP because it's quite short and sharp and it shows the band's more political side. I'm aware they've just put out a new album this year, so I'll probably have to check that out and see what they're up to at the moment. Moving on. The next record I have is by a band called Household. This is called With or Without. Here is the front cover, here is the back cover. It has a lyric sheet just here, the reverse of that, out on green vinyl. Alright, Household are a band out on Blood and Ink Records. This is from 2014, so it's only 3 years old. They've done some smaller releases since then, maybe even another album. I think this is their most recent album. They've just done a split with a band called Infinite Me, and that's just out on Blood and Ink Records this year as well. They kind of sound like La Dispute to give you a point of reference, but I really enjoy what they do. They've got that good frantic nature, but it's super emotional music. Probably falling into that modern day emo vibe. So if you're into stuff like La Dispute, Pianos Become the Teeth, Touche Amore, that kind of stuff, maybe leaning into more of that like title fight type stuff if you like those kind of vibes. But a really good band. I've not got to see them yet. I got this straight from the Blood and Ink record store and really enjoy it. It's a really good listen. The next couple of records are some of my absolute favourites. The Horrid Crowes, Elsie. Here's the front cover. This is the back cover of the record. It's a gatefold with the lyrics inside of a printed dust sheet, and as I remember, this is on red vinyl. Out on side one Dummy Records. So this is Brian Fallon of the Gaslight Anthem, whose records we will see later in this video. The other part of the Horrid Crowes is Ian Perkins. Ian had played with the Gaslight Anthem a little bit in the past, and he adds his own spin to what Brian Fallon's been making. So it's definitely a redefined sound from the Gaslight Anthem. It's a bit more low key. There's two of them. They're doing more of the instrumentation around that record as well. So if you enjoy those kind of quieter, more somber, somewhat bluesy songs that the Gaslight Anthem did, you'll definitely enjoy the Horrid Crowes if anyone's had any reservations. As Brian Fallon goes out and tours, he's done a solo record which is in this video as well, but he's also toured as like Brian Fallon and the Crowes. So Ian Perkins has been with him for the most part of that time. The next record I have to show you is the soundtrack to my favourite film. This is the High Fidelity soundtrack. Here's the front cover, here is the back cover. It opens out with a gatefold with some really cool photos from the film. On the back it is actually numbered, so this was a limited release of I believe 5,000 for Record Store Day. I have it on this kind of gold orangey vinyl. Any vinyl nerds must see this film. If you've not, I insist that you stop watching this video and go and watch High Fidelity now. It stars John Cusack and Jack Black, and John Cusack's sister, Joan Cusack's in it too. It's funny, it's witty, it's littered with music references. It's a perfect turn of the century kind of romantic comedy, but record nerd type film. And it's yeah, the main character in that, Rob Gordon, is a little bit sexist. He's definitely trying to work out what he's doing with his own love life after falling out with an argument. But the songs on this soundtrack are great. Bob Dylan, Velvet Underground, Kinks, lots of like 60s, 70s, 80s music in there, but it's such a good soundtrack. Really love it. I play this all the time at home, and I have a lot of records, and I know collecting records, you struggle to play all of the ones that you want to listen to all the time, but I play this a lot because it's perfect to chill out to. It's not too in your face, but really good record. Give this video a like if you've seen Have Heart before. This is Have Heart, Songs to Scream at the Sun. Here is the front cover, here is the back cover. Lovely gatefold vinyl here. Opens out like this. My copy is on white vinyl. Of course, this is out on Bridgeline Records. I have one more Have Heart release. Have Heart, The Things We Carry. Here is the front cover. Here is the back cover. Love the artwork on the lyric sheet of this, going through the seasons. Here's the front of this little insert, and then the reverse of those inserts. This is out on some mad tricolour vinyl. So like white, yellow and green. Incredible hardcore from Boston, Massachusetts. If you've not listened to them, you absolutely must. Not too metal, not too punky, really good straight edge hardcore. Next record I have to show you is Hatebreed Satisfaction is the Death of Desire. Here is the front cover, here is the back cover, the rad insert, the back of that. The LP is just on black vinyl, so I will not. Hatebreed have just started or announced a tour that they're going to be playing this album in full. They just did it in full at Fest in Europe as well, over in Belgium. This is probably my favourite Hatebreed release. It's probably most people's favourite Hatebreed release. It's from 1997 and out on Victory Records when Victory still made nice records. And I'd listen to this most weeks in the gym. It's perfect gym music. So this is, I think it's a self-titled EP. This is the front of the tour cover, and I had all of the dates on the back here in Comic Sans. Lovely. Here is the actual cover, the front cover of that, and then the back cover of this as well. Opened out with a gatefold like this with the lyrics on the inside. This has a really cool like fire coloured vinyl there. I'm the kind of person that keeps things in their records, and this has got like one of their old tour posters from this tour that they were touring on. Yeah, I put on this show. Let's say this was with Brotherhood of the Lake. Split Case played and Thought Out played. We pretty much packed out this venue in Birmingham, and it was well over capacity. I have one more Hang the Bastard record which I will show you, and then we'll talk about the band. This is their full-length album. This is Hellfire Rain. Here's the front cover, here is the back cover. Printed dust sheet, and it's out on Holy War Records with the credits just there. On green and blue vinyl. This is pretty cool. Just dropping things on the floor. Hang the Bastard are probably one of the local bands that I've had so much contact with over their career. I remember seeing them originally in a tiny pub in Birmingham, and then putting them on a few times in my career as a promoter. They definitely aped that kind of integrity vibes, kind of that Holy Terror vibe, hardcore. They're all from London, and now they, Chris Sparling plays with Group of Man, and then him and a couple of others did a band called Mine, who are doing a reunion show for their final release recently. But Hang the Bastard just rip. If you love like heavy riffs, if you love mosh parts and kind of dive bomb guitars, and it's very metal. The next record I have is Harm's Way Rust. Here's the front cover, here is the back cover. Die cut record cover like this. Inside has this with this, and a gatefold with the artwork and the lyrics just in there. The first press is on this like rusty coloured vinyl, which fits pretty well. This is Isolation. Here's the front cover, here's the back cover. So it's got a little insert here. This is on this like grey splatter clear vinyl. So Harm's Way are this big deal, like they kind of lift heavier weights than Hatebreed. That's the best way to describe them. They definitely are a straight edge band. They are very anti-God. They are very in your face, really chugging riffs. You just need to look at James from Harm's Way to know that they are a strong sounding band, and they definitely deliver that in their live performance and on record as well. I love Isolation. It's got some of my favourite tracks on there, like Scrambled, gets me motivated, which is good. I put on Harm's Way once as well. It was kind of a big show, like it was Harm's Way, Dead End Path and Brutality Will Prevail, and I remember it completely packing out the venue that I was working at, and it took a big risk, but I really enjoyed it, and it was a really fun time. It was the first time I'd ever put on Desolated, and they asked me to go on that show as well. There's a pretty stacked lineup. Yeah, Harm's Way, they're cool. Next record I have to show you is by a lovely favourite band. This is by the band Hands. This is called Give Me Rest. Here's the front cover, back cover. It's out on this clear translucent vinyl. So Hands are a band from Fargo, North Dakota. They play kind of like, if you imagine the band ISIS, they kind of sound like that. Kind of really pushed out progressive hardcore. Long songs, but with good breakdowns, good melody in there, big array of pedal boards going on. Definitely a good one to listen to alone, good with headphones, that kind of music. They're really nice live as well. I've got to see them a couple of times over in America. They've never been to Europe yet.